At just over 25 feet long, the Winnebago View looks like the kind of motorhome you could actually take almost anywhere. But here's the interesting part. From the outside, you might expect a compact RV with compact compromises. Step through the door, though, and that first impression starts to change. Because the View isn't really about making a big motorhome smaller. It's about trying to make a smaller motorhome feel like enough. And today, we're going to find out exactly how well Winnebago pulled that off. The first thing that stands out is the size. The current View measures around 25.5 to 25 feet 8 inches, depending on the floor plan, with a width of about 7.5 feet. So this isn't a tiny camper van, but compared with a much larger Class A motorhome, it's still a relatively manageable package. And that's important, because the entire appeal of a vehicle like this comes down to one question. How much comfort can you realistically fit into something this size? The View is built on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter chassis with a 2.0-liter high-output turbo diesel 4-cylinder and a 9-speed automatic transmission in the current 2026 lineup. That gives the View the foundation you'd expect from a modern premium touring vehicle, while the motorhome body adds the living space that turns it from transportation into a home on the road. And that's where this RV starts getting interesting, because the outside doesn't tell you the whole story. Walk around the side, and you'll see one of the things that matters most on a motorhome like this: usable space. There's an exterior power awning, exterior service equipment, storage, and practical access points designed around the reality of traveling. And that word, practical, is important. A beautiful RV is one thing. An RV that still makes sense when you're loading it, parking it, setting up camp, cooking dinner, and packing everything away again is something else. The View is clearly designed around that second idea. And once you open the main door, the reason becomes much easier to understand. This is where the title starts to make sense. Because the surprise isn't that the View somehow becomes physically enormous. It doesn't. The surprise is how effectively Winnebago uses the space that is available. The interior is about 6 feet 8 inches high and roughly 7 feet 3 inches wide, depending on the current configuration. That gives you a proper motorhome interior rather than the feeling of simply being inside a converted van. And the first thing you notice is the atmosphere. There are LED lights, integrated storage, charging points, comfortable seating areas, and a layout designed to serve multiple purposes. During the day, this can be your lounge. At night, parts of that same space can become your sleeping area. And that's one of the smartest things about compact RV design. The trick isn't necessarily adding more things. It's making the same square footage do more than one job. Imagine arriving somewhere you've wanted to visit for years. You park, you step outside. Maybe there's a mountain view in front of you, or a lake just a few steps away. Then you come back inside. Instead of climbing into a cramped sleeping compartment, you're sitting in a proper living environment with lighting, entertainment, storage, and a place to relax. That is the real luxury here. Not simply having more equipment, having the freedom to take your normal comforts with you. And there's another detail that matters when you're thinking about actually living in an RV: storage. Because an RV can look fantastic during a showroom tour and become frustrating very quickly once you start filling it with real-world belongings. Clothes, food, outdoor equipment, charging cables, shoes. Everything that somehow seems to multiply once you're traveling. The View's design tries to address that with dedicated interior and exterior storage, although the exact storage capacity varies considerably by floor plan. So this is one area where buyers should pay close attention to the specific View they're considering. And that brings us to the part of any motorhome that reveals whether the design really works: the kitchen. Because this is where a compact RV has to make a difficult compromise. You need enough equipment to prepare real meals, but you don't want the kitchen taking over the entire living area. The View uses a compact galley approach with a 2-burner induction and LP cooktop, microwave/convection cooking, a 12-volt compressor refrigerator, countertop space, cabinets, and storage. The exact sink and pantry arrangement varies by floor plan, but the philosophy is consistent. Keep the kitchen functional without making the interior feel like one giant kitchen. And that matters more than it sounds. Because if you're traveling for days or weeks, you're not just looking for a place to sleep. You want to make coffee in the morning. You want to prepare something after a long drive. You want to sit down, and actually enjoy your evening. That's when a compact RV starts becoming a lifestyle rather than just a vehicle. Then there's the bathroom. And this is another area where expectations have to be realistic. You're still inside a roughly 25-foot motorhome, so nobody should expect a residential bathroom. But the View doesn't simply give up on the idea of having a proper private bathroom. Depending on the floor plan, you'll find a dedicated shower, toilet, vanity, and storage, with features such as a retractable self-cleaning shower screen and skylight on the current configurations. And that changes the travel experience, because after a long day outside, having your own shower and bathroom means you don't have to depend on campground facilities every night. It's one of those features you might not think about when looking at an RV brochure, until you actually use it. But the real test of a compact motorhome is in the kitchen. It isn't the bathroom. It's what happens when the lights go down, because this is where a lot of smaller RVs have to compromise. So let's talk about the sleeping space. Depending on the View floor plan, Winnebago uses different sleeping arrangements. The 2026 range includes a Murphy Plus queen bed in the 24D, a corner bed in the 24J, and a flex bed system in the 24V. That means the experience can be very different depending on which view you're looking at. And that's actually one of the most important things to understand about this motorhome. There isn't one perfect view for everybody. The question is, which layout fits the way you travel? If you want flexible daytime living space, a Murphy-style arrangement can be especially interesting. During the day, the room can serve one purpose. At night, it becomes a bedroom. That's the kind of transformation that makes a 25-foot motorhome feel considerably more versatile than its exterior dimensions suggest. And then we get to something that matters enormously once you leave the driveway. How independent can the RV actually be? The current View lineup includes different electrical configurations depending on floor plan. For example, the 2026 24D uses a 320 amp-hour Lithionics lithium battery system, a dedicated second alternator for coach battery charging, and flexible solar panels. Other floor plans use different electrical setups. So again, the specific model matters. But the bigger idea is simple. Modern RV travel isn't just about finding a campsite with an electrical hookup. It's about having enough systems working together that you can spend more time enjoying where you are and less time worrying about how everything is powered. That is where technology becomes invisible. And when RV technology is working properly, invisible is exactly what you want. Now, let's talk about the part people sometimes overlook when they're focused on the interior. You have to drive this thing. And that is one reason the relatively compact dimensions matter. At around 25 feet, the View is still a serious motorhome, but it isn't approaching the size of the largest coaches. That can make a difference when you're navigating roads, parking, entering campgrounds, or simply driving through a town you've never visited before. The Mercedes-Benz chassis also brings modern driver assistance and convenience technology, including adaptive cruise control, active brake assist, lane keeping assistance, tension assist, and crosswind assist in the current specification. But here's the trade-off. Compact does not mean effortless. You're still driving a motorhome. It has height. It has width. It has a large body behind the cab. And you still need to think ahead. That's why the View makes the most sense for someone who wants the comfort of a proper motorhome without immediately moving into a much larger coach. And this is the part one think buyers should pay attention to. The biggest strength of the View is also its biggest limitation: space. Winnebago has done a lot with the available footprint, but physics still wins. If you're traveling with a large family and want enormous living areas, a huge bathroom, and unlimited storage, a 25-foot Class C isn't going to give you the same experience as a much larger motorhome. And that's okay, because that's not what the View is trying to be. The View makes more sense if your priority is balance. Enough space to be comfortable. Enough technology to make travel easier. Enough storage to bring the things you actually use. And a size that doesn't feel completely overwhelming when the road gets narrow or the parking lot gets tight. So, does the Winnebago View actually deliver on the promise of being a big surprise in a relatively compact package? I think the answer is yes, but for a specific reason. It's not because the View magically creates space that isn't there. It's because the layout makes you think about space differently. A seat can become part of the living room. A sleeping area can disappear during the day. A kitchen can be compact without becoming useless. A bathroom can remain private without consuming the entire coach. And technology can make the vehicle feel more connected and easier to manage. That's what makes the View interesting. It's not trying to win by being the biggest RV in the campground. It's trying to make you question whether you actually need a bigger one. And imagine what that means on the road. You wake up somewhere completely different. You make coffee. You open the door. Fresh air comes in. Your home is still right there. No hotel check-in. No packing everything into a suitcase. No leaving the place you love because your accommodation is somewhere else. You simply start the engine and take your home with you. That's the appeal of a motorhome like the View. Not just the cabinets, not just the technology, not just the floor plan. It's the freedom created by putting all of those things into one manageable package. But now I'm curious, would you choose a compact motorhome like the Winnebago View? Or would you sacrifice maneuverability for a much larger living space? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this tour, subscribe for more motorhomes, RVs, and the vehicles that make life on the road possible. Because sometimes, the most interesting homes aren't the biggest ones. They're the ones that make you want to go somewhere.